is not included at all. The enforced absentees for the record: Reguilon, Son, Dyer, Bergwijn and Romero. 4 Chelsea changes by comparison with the first leg. Back into the 11 come Andreas Christensen, Mateo Kovacic, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner. Messer Ziyech, Saul, Alonso and Havertz drop out in what, after last week's brief departure from the norm, appears to be a return to a back 3. Now, bar their injured wing-backs Chilwell and James, Chelsea are close now to full strength, though the manager has warned that recent COVID victims Conte and Silva, both on the bench tonight, have had just a single day's training each. 6 of that starting 11 did play Saturday's FA Cup against Chesterfield. Plenty of familiarity. The world is familiar with Harry Kane, whose goal-scoring record in London derbies of all types is phenomenal, whose goal-scoring record, full stop, is phenomenal. Indeed, he was the scorer the last time Tottenham beat Chelsea, bar a shootout, which was in a Carabao Cup semi-final. Seeking to be the Tottenham captain as he adjusts that armband. Seeking to be the Tottenham captain who finally lifts a trophy again. Conte against Tuchel for the second time of 3 this month. Familiar but not contemptuous. Each wary and respectful of the other, and the players reiterate once more their determination to drive racism from our game. So it is Tottenham's to chase, it is Chelsea's to protect. A month and a half before the season's first prize is handed over. This for the right to be in the reckoning. Is this doable for Tottenham, Matt Holland?
Very difficult. We saw a spectacular light show pre-match. They need a spectacular performance to turn it around. They need a fast start. They'd love an early goal. I think most importantly, though, is that they stay in the game. If Chelsea score, they're in big trouble.
General feeling around the tie is self-evidently really that Tottenham, whenever it comes, however late it comes, Tottenham must be the scorers of the first goal. South from the left of Chelsea's re-adopted back 3, and as Piliqueta restored to his right wing-back role. As mentioned, essentially now that Conte and Silva are back in the squad, bar the goalkeeper Mendy, who's away with Senegal, Chelsea are only lacking their regular wing-backs, Chilwell and James, both out injured, but they are as close really as any of the big hitters to full strength at this stage of the season. Here is Lukaku, outside of whom Mason Mount, now Timo Werner, as Piliqueta.
Actually looks like a back 4 again for Chelsea. Malang Sarr station on that left-hand side, has a left back, Rudiger and Christensen at centre half, and has Piliqueta at right back.
So he's done us again.
He's done us again. It's a 4-2-2-2 if you like. We've seen Ralph Rangnick try and employ that at Man United. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Mason Mount in behind Werner and Lukaku. Jorginho and Kovacic sitting in front of that back 4.
Interesting that, because Thomas Tuchel was a bit cloak and dagger in his interview when asked about the return of certain personnel, the names for the uninitiated, and we would have to include ourselves amongst those, seem to point at Piliqueta and Hudson-Odoi in the wing-back positions. It is evidently not that. Here is Hudson-Odoi with Sarr wide of him, galloping up from full-back. And the header is from Japhet Tanganga, who's had such a miserable first half at Stamford Bridge a week ago.
Great atmosphere. Spurs fans certainly believe they can get the job done. Interesting, wasn't it, Thomas Tuchel's quotes before the game saying that we don't have a foot in the final. We might not have a foot, they've certainly got a toe.
time these two met in a semi-final. The team that won the first leg did not go through. Spurs had the advantage, going to Stamford Bridge then, and couldn't hold on to it. Time before that, 20 years ago, Spurs lost the first leg at Stamford Bridge and still did go through emphatically. There is precedent of a type for a turnaround, though not from 2 goals behind. Indeed, that has only been achieved once in the whole history of 2-legged League Cup semi-finals, in 1994 when Aston Villa trailed 3-1 to Tranmere and beat them 3-1 in the second leg. It went to a penalty shootout which they won. A team of Bosnich and McGrath, Houghton, Townsend, Dean Saunders, Tony Daly against probably the finest Tranmere team there's ever been, including John McGreal and John Aldridge, Pat Nevin, Eric Nixon in goal. I think Birkenhead would say that that was their vintage side. Which was caught by Mount. Winks back in for Skip. 2 young midfield players, English boys who appear to be thriving under the new boss.
Yeah, I think Harry Winks is certainly in better under Antonio Conte, although you look at the changes that Tottenham have made, 3 changes from that first leg, they look on paper weaker. Anyway, Galini taking the place of Lloris in goal and Lo Celso in place of Son, who's, I think, been Spurs' best player again this season.
Start to 2022 for Thomas Tuchel. Did drop points against Liverpool in the only Premier League game of the season so far, but last week's win against Spurs, the weekend victory against Chesterfield, was without real alarm. Chelsea have scored 9 goals since the turn of the year, 9 different scorers. Emerson Royal, Harry Kane. One of those scorers was Ben Davis. Winks. Doherty again from the left. Lucas Moura is also looking to prompt. Rubier for Lucas Moura. Winks. Challenge from Christensen. Andre Mariner points for a free kick. Lo Celso downed.
Also in the team as a number 10, looking to get close to Lucas Moura and Harry Kane. Rash challenge from Andreas Christensen, he's going nowhere, facing away from goal, no need to make the challenge.
Kane was a weekend goal scorer against inferior opposition. A goal now would light the blue touch paper. Spurs required to be proactive, required to make it happen, and with an early glimpse. Harry Kane into the wall, and Kane again. Doherty, Højbjerg, Doherty, caught up by Lukaku, and wins the jackpot. It's a goal kick.
Uncomfortable, Matt Doherty, again on the outside. I see every time he picks the ball up, he wants to come inside on his favoured right foot. Not natural for him to play on that left-hand side. It's a job that he can do. You see when he opens his body up here, there's space there to take Lukaku on down the outside. It just doesn't look comfortable.
Winks, Doherty.
And back inside again.
Winks, Lucas Moura. Davis. Winks. To launch a Chelsea counter. And Matt Doherty did get a game on the right hand side in the FA Cup on Sunday against Morecambe, a game which didn't didn't go entirely smoothly and satisfactorily for Antonio Conte, who had to throw on big hitters to turn it round in the second half. He, of course, being the biggest hitter.
Well, he's the key man tonight for Tottenham. Playing nearer the goal under Antonio Conte.
Well from Rudiger, well seen by Sanchez, came to Timo Werner, who tried something cute.
Thomas Tuchel talked about Romelu Lukaku's physicality and how it was important in that first game. Just by making that run in behind, it fell kindly for Timo Werner. Great first touch, and it's an improvised finish, not too far away.
The League Cup goal on this ground last season. The very start of the competition. Also taken back by Christensen. Chelsea have lost just 3 games this season, and all 3 defeats only by 1 goal against Manchester City and Juventus, and most recently West Ham 3-2. I think their last 7 defeats spanning last season and this in all competitions, including the FA Cup final, have all been by 1 goal. Last time Chelsea lost a football match by a margin sufficient to knock them out tonight, 3rd of April, when extraordinarily, and it was extraordinary, West Brom beat them 5-2 at Stamford Bridge. That was 48 games ago, and they did play most of that game with 10 men. Thiago Silva was sent off. Rudiger's hit it long, Lukaku's welcoming it in, and Lukaku is deprived of the opening goal by a sprawling Galini, whose own clearance hit Sanchez and might have bounced anywhere.
Well, it's a fantastic save. Big moment early on in the game. Lukaku's made a couple of runs already, looking to spin in behind that Tottenham defence. His hold-up play is absolutely superb, and he's got the strength to hold off Ben Davies. Galini's equal to it. It was a comedy own goal from Tottenham in the first game. There was almost another. Davinson Sanchez couldn't move his feet quick enough.
Galini played the first 2 rounds of this competition. Nuno Espirito Santo, he also played the FA Cup tie against Morecambe, as mentioned on Sunday, in which Spurs trailed for 40-odd minutes of playing time. So a goal from hitherto barely heard of Anthony O'Connor, who had his moment of glory.
Signs are that Romelu Lukaku is going to play on the shoulder, expecting Tottenham's fast start and perhaps playing higher up the pitch, space in behind.
So Wenger caught on it, Kovacic, Mount, Lukaku, Kovacic, it's industrious, taken back by Jorginho.
Very narrow, Chelsea.
Also went crashing into Kovacic, and Kovacic is penalised.
Ball running away from the Celso, but he still got there first.
Football recently, Mateo Kovacic, and Jorginho to labour on in the absence of N'Golo Conte, who's on the point of a return and indeed on the bench tonight. Here is Lucas Moura, and he didn't get any real zest behind his strike.
He's a player that's enjoying himself under the new manager. Coming deep, running at that Chelsea defence.
Hurriedly forward by Højbjerg, taken up by Kane, driven against Christensen. Bounces out for Emerson Royal. Celso. Seen a lot of the ball early on. Pass read by Jorginho, and now Lukaku can look the other way. Looks to push and run beyond Sanchez. Helped out by Davis. Sanchez in a bit of a corner and a bit of a panic.
Looked the most comfortable with the ball at his feet there, Chiellini.
Throw. Sanchez got up high. Knocked out again by Winks. Better. Jorginho, Lukaku, neatly on for Timo Werner, who's around Sanchez and pulls it back for the strike from Sarr, which was robustly blocked by Giovanni Lo Celso.
Tottenham claiming an offside. Thought Timo Werner was in an offside position. Fine games between Lo Celso and Sarr. He was onside. Pace at the top end of the pitch is causing Tottenham problems. Werner and Lukaku are both spun in behind.
So he's also needing calming down. Mason Mount with the Chelsea corner. Lovely first quarter of an hour. Mount's delivery, met by Kane. Jorginho. Sarr. Werner. Hudson-Odoi. Flicked towards Azpilicueta. Doherty stood his ground. Also ran into trouble. Lukaku is turning and feeding it for Azpilicueta, and now Mateo Kovacic and Timo Werner against Emerson Royal and behind again.
Good spell of pressure from Chelsea. Passing's crisp, it's sharp.
Chelsea's third corner. After what had been a brightish Tottenham start. And again by Mount. Chiellini came and got nowhere near. Rudiger too big, too strong, too certain. And Chelsea now maybe too far ahead. They'll take some reeling in from here. Antonio Rudiger takes a giant leap towards Wembley. Chelsea 1 up on the night and now 3 goals ahead overall.
Well, we always felt that the first goal was important in this game. If Chelsea got it, Spurs were in big trouble. Hesitant goalkeeping from Chiellini. Unsure whether to come off his line or not. Eventually he does. And when he does, and comes that far, he has to get something on it. He doesn't. Antonio Rudiger is able to plant a header into the back of the Spurs net and most likely send Chelsea through to the final.
His second goal on this ground this season. He got one of Chelsea's 3 in the Premier League back in September. And now he creates for Antonio Conte a problem which, even for one of the most accomplished coaches of his generation, just might be insoluble.
He's been making noises, hasn't he, that his squad are nowhere near Chelsea. And I think we both said when we saw the team sheets that the bench of Chelsea looks so much stronger than Tottenham. He knows there's work to be done to get close to that level.
Mount. Jorginho. Mounts. Kovacic.
Well, he had a decision to make in goal. Hugo Lloris or Galini. And it was a big call to go with the less experienced goalkeeper.
And a lot of pre-match conversation around that issue. Why would you?
Well, he's, I guess in some ways trying to be fair to Galini. Feels as though he needs games, and he's played in this competition a lot of matches in the Europa Conference League, but often when it gets to a semi-final stage or a final stage, managers are picking their best sides, and Lloris is his best goalkeeper.
Jorginho. Werner. Sanchez stole it back. Winks moved it on. Lucas Moura. Højbjerg.
Chelsea again with and without the ball different. It looks like a back five without the ball. Hudson-Odoi at left wing back. They narrow off. Malang Sarr comes alongside Rudiger and Christensen. As soon as they win it, they step into a back four.
Kane. Up towards Emerson Royal, who was challenging at the back of Hudson-Odoi, and that's sufficient to force a corner.
At first glance, I felt that was a foul. Hudson-Odoi, as I say, without possession, narrowing off and becoming a wing back, tracked his man well.
To say that Spurs need a goal is to understate. Forward, Lo Celso in. Flicked out for Doherty to go and retrieve. Ground by Winks, who wasn't giving way on halfway.
Carries the ball so well. Mateo Kovacic carries it at pace, gets his team up the pitch.
Christensen. Lukaku, Werner, Lukaku, Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea turning it on again. Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Galini was sprawling. It's a corner.
And at the start of the game, Lukaku and Werner have combined brilliantly. Their combination got Hudson-Odoi on the ball. He so often does as well, comes in from that left-hand side to get his shot away.
Can't place it in. Fabio clumps it away. Jorginho. Tanganga pounced upon by Callum Hudson-Odoi, and now Timo Werner. Hudson-Odoi. Fabio stood his ground. Doherty can't find an escape route.
It's really positive from Chelsea. Real intent about their play. Winning the second balls, keeping Spurs penned in. Last week you felt the damage was done in the first period. Spurs just didn't get going, and Chelsea totally dominated for 45 minutes. It could have been more than the 2 goals they scored. It's been a similarly fast start from Chelsea again.
And as for Chelsea, you just don't see them letting up. Kovacic. There's Piliqueta. Jorginho. A lot from coaches about good habits. Chelsea's habits are so ingrained now. They almost, in a sense, wouldn't know how to let up. They play a game the way they play a game. They're just in that space. Tanganga at the back of Werner. Chelsea's free kick. He's a pest.
He is a pest. Before the game, in the warm-up, I watched Tanganga, Sanchez and Davis having a real conflab about how they were going to deal with the Chelsea forward players. You know that Werner and Lukaku are both quick. They both want to spin in behind. They've left too much space and too much room for them to do that.
Rudiger, the proven danger man in a circumstance such as this. Lukaku, of course, still more proven. Going to find one of those or an alternative. That's Mount, repelled by Lucas Moura. Hudson-Odoi is looking mischievous. Mount. Fabio away. Sarr.
Just that little bit quicker, that little bit sharper, Chelsea. Feel like they're a step ahead the whole time.
Pitch onto the head of Werner. Lukaku, that's Piliqueta. Lukaku. Chelsea, just as they did on their own turf a week ago, playing the first half in their own time, at their own pace, to their own specifications. That's Piliqueta. Jorginho. Sarr. Hudson-Odoi. Piliqueta. Jorginho. Kovacic. Jorginho. Mason Mount. Up into the air by Emerson Royal, recycled by Hudson-Odoi for Sarr. And now Kovacic, Jorginho, Hudson-Odoi. Sarr. Werner on the twist, Tanganga behind. Spurs are hanging on grimly here.
It's a highly impressive first half an hour from Chelsea. It wasn't an unexpected start from Spurs because they came out the blocks quite quickly, first 5-10 minutes. But Chelsea have taken control. They've got the lead. stretch their advantage.
And those in the safe standing areas are standing rather forlornly, as indeed is the coach, who, as Matt quite rightly said, had warned us. He's had a couple of months now, he's had a look at what he's got, and he recognises the shortcomings. Which Chelsea, let us not forget, the European champions Chelsea, have over the last 2 hours of football rather exposed. Christensen, and then he can get there before Werner.
Slightly fortunate the ball fell to Christensen, on found its way to Christensen. But once it did, he's lifted a nice ball to the far post, just a fraction too much on it. Lukaku and Werner both lurking. They played really close together, Lukaku and Werner. Linked up superbly.
Royal. Spurs set out this evening needing to win by 2. They've won 6 games by 2 or more this season. A 2-0 win against Brentford, Sunday's 3-1 win against Morecambe. Won 3 games by 3 goals against Passos de Ferreira, Norwich and Crystal Palace, and won by 4 against NS Mura in the Europa Conference League. But none of those opponents, with respect to them all, equates to Chelsea. Whom in the Premier League they are 4 places, 2nd and 6th respectively, 10 points. It's certainly fair to say that Spurs do have 3 games in hand. Both have very big Premier League games at the weekend. Here's Tanganga. Nice touch from Lucas Moura. Moved on by Højbjerg. In by Doherty, Kane's on the spin. Christensen makes the block. Højbjerg! A little deflection, was it? Yes, it was. It's a corner.
Better from Tottenham. This time Doherty does deliver with his left foot, and almost results in a chance for Harry Kane. Mason Mount closed Højbjerg down quickly, but I think it was Christensen that got the last touch.
Celso plays it in. Kane at the far post was within a stud's length.
Oh, he's inches away. He gets away from his man, Mateo Kovacic, who falls asleep. As Azpilicueta says to him as well, you've got to follow him. Do well, Spurs win the first header, and Harry Kane not far away from pulling Spurs back into it.
One of those needs to go in, and go in soon. It has become somewhat subdued. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, an evening that began amid frantic volume, excitement, optimism and possibility. Somehow Spurs have to rediscover some sense of possibility. It's also caught on it.
I think where Chelsea have been really impressive is when the ball's gone forward to one of the Spurs front men, Moura or Kane, they've stepped right in with them, kept really tight, not allowed them to have easy ball.
Kovacic. couldn't bring it with him. Timo Werner. Lukaku! Flicks it wide.
Well, started from a Spurs giveaway. Celso on the stretch in the middle of the pitch, couldn't get the ball under control. And it's those two again, Werner and Lukaku linking up. I'd be disappointed actually, Romelu Lukaku, that he hasn't hit the target.
Rubia. Winks. Kane. A little bit suffocatingly tight.
Yeah, another evidence there of Chelsea's centre halves going right in with the Spurs forwards.
Sarr. They still want to keep that alive. Twist the blood of Emerson Royal. Sarr kept it in too. Jorginho, Lukaku, Mount. Sanchez got between them. Sarr committed the foul.
Smothering Tottenham as soon as they win the ball back. Chelsea are running all over them. Here's the goal again. And Galini was just hesitant. Should he go, should he not? A little bit planted in the middle of the box. Eventually did and got nowhere near it.
But here's a chance for Emerson Royal. Who struck it straight at the waiting Kepa Arrizabalaga.
And manages to get the wrong side of Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's sleeping. Stays on side. Can't generate the power required to beat Kepa.
Space ahead of Hudson-Odoi now. Winks comes over to close it down. Kovacic. Werner. Sarr. Also picked off comfortably by Christensen. And for Jorginho. Odoi again to Warrior fullback. Kovacic, Jorginho. Sarr.
Thomas Tuchel rallied against complacency before the game, and this has been far from complacent.
Looking to turn around Davis. Kane. Counted forward by Winks. It's Chelsea without their first choice keeper also, with Edouard Mendy away with Senegal. I noted actually that Mendy didn't play the first game for Senegal against Zimbabwe in the Africa Cup of Nations. Senegal won 1-0. Very late Sadio Mane penalty without him. The QPR goalkeeper Timothy Dieng who kept goal. Here's Kane. Rudiger lent on him, not too much more than that. And Kane is getting nothing out of it.
Sloppy for once, Chelsea. Still able to get back and make the challenge. Okay, not quite having the pace to get away from Rudiger.
Sarr. Pretty blatantly shoving the back by Lo Celso.
Spurs fans don't like it, but there's a definite nudge in the back from him. And at the other end, Tottenham wanted a foul, but Rudiger just stepped across him, used his experience. You can see the experience in this Chelsea side, can't you? Dealing with the situation, dealing with the pressure of leading 2-0 coming into this one.
Lucas Moura, Harry Kane, Højbjerg's going beyond him. And Højbjerg's beyond Rudiger, who left a foot in. It's a penalty. Tottenham thrown a lifeline. Rudiger score at one end, offender the other. Just a hint of a route back.
And Chelsea players are saying that the challenge was outside the area, and I think the initial one was, you can see, but it continues into the area. Højbjerg tried to stay on his feet. Eventually when he gets into the box, that's when he goes down. I mean, at second glance it looks like he goes down fairly easily. There is a knee on knee inside the area.
And all Andre Mariner can do is explain to Chelsea's irate players that the video assistant referee will be having a good look. And this is what he's having a look at.
So where's the challenge? Is that the foul? Or is it when the knee of Rudiger hits the knee of Højbjerg? It's so tight, isn't it?
And if it is that knee-on-knee challenge, then it is another line decision, as well as establishing whether it's a foul.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of above the line, isn't it?
I think it's just outside.
Yeah.
I think looking at that evidence, it says it's just outside. Difficult from that angle. But the angle we saw moments ago suggested this will be overturned.
Because once he's falling into the box here, the only contact, it seems to me, is with his trailing foot on his own ankle. He, as it were, trips over himself from this point there. Spurs really need this, but they very well might not get it.
He was adamant straight away, Rudiger, that it was outside the box.
It's a free kick. And so that lifeline, whilst it is still dangled, is dangled a little less appealingly. Spurs can still maximise the moment. Conte's turn to be incandescent. Andre Mariner's lost a few friends. Last time he took charge of Tottenham in a cup tie was at Tranmere 3 years ago in the FA Cup, and Spurs won 7-0. That's a very different kettle of fish. He was in charge of a minor FA Cup shock at the weekend. Andre Mariner saw Huddersfield win at Burnley. He was also in charge of Chelsea's quarter-final win at Brentford just before Christmas, in which he awarded them a penalty, and Jorginho converted. So Lo Celso one side of the ball, Højbjerg the other. 90 seconds out from half-time. Tottenham's hour of need. a variant. Lo Celso flicks up off the top of the wall. And Tottenham have to be content with the corner.
No real conviction from Lo Celso. A little chipped effort. It's a big wall Chelsea have got. The insurance of Azpilicueta lying on the ground as well, so if they did jump, it wouldn't have been a problem.
And again by Lo Celso, out by Mount. Taken away by Timo Werner. Tanganga winks. Davis. Doherty. Lucas Moura. Winks. Royal run off it by Hudson-Odoi. Clearance comes to Winks. Picked away by Christensen. Followed up by Davis, who skids one wide. So how does the half-time conversation go in the Tottenham dressing room?
It's not an easy place to be for Antonio Conte. All he can do is rally the troops, try and keep them positive, and try and make them believe they can turn it around. But Chelsea have looked to step ahead, looked to class above, and haven't looked like conceding 3, which is what Tottenham need to do to get themselves back into this.
Incidentally, that Rudiger goal does mean now that Chelsea's first 10 goals of 2022 have been scored by 10 different players. Winks. Lucas Moura, hard ball to take. Jorginho. Sarr. Kovacic, Jorginho. A minute of first half stoppage time.
So confident and assured in playing out from the back, Chelsea. Playing through midfield. Jorginho and Kovacic so happy to receive the ball even when they're marked.
Whistled off it by Tanganga. Seconds for Spurs to profit from this. Lucas Moura gives it back. Tanganga. And now Doherty. Going backwards does not appeal to 60,000 people in this ground. Winks. Moura, Kane. Half time. And here the reaction. 3/4 of the tie has passed and Chelsea are 3/4 of the way to Wembley. Antonio Rudiger has given them a sight of the Twin Towers, winning a header when the challenge from Tottenham's goalkeeper Pierluigi Golini lacked conviction. Andre Mariner was at the